Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome back to my channel, Rise Again 44 with Norma. One day I will discuss. I will make an audio speaking of the 44 in the name of my channel. It's a very significant number in my life, and one day I will discuss it. But for today, I would like to discuss spirituality. Spirituality is a very broad term. It includes a lot of things. Religion is also part of spirituality, I guess. But today I would like to focus on uh, spirituality and a certain aspect of it. I will relate a little story before I delve into it. I delve into it is that I grew up in a church because my mom, we went to a certain church and I was born into it basically. My parents were part of the church and I was born into it. Even when they divorced, we continued to go to the same church. So I grew up in the church. I wouldn't say that I didn't like it. I liked it. I liked the events, social events. There'll be singing, like competitions, the youth evenings, youth competitions. It was always when those events were happening, I would always be happy because I enjoyed the singing. But when it comes to the word part of it, like the preaching or the Bible studies, I was never keen. Nothing drew me in. When a preacher is standing there and they are talking about the Bible or the Word of God, they could never draw me in. I just would lose interest. I don't know if it's how they preached or because it was one of those old Orthodox churches where only the pastor or the preacher or the priest is allowed to hold a Bible. So what he says and his understanding of the Bible would be what we all have to listen to, and it would go that way. So basically, by the time I get home, I'm just bored. I went to church because I have to go to church. My mom said it's time to go to church. So that was my relationship with church or religion. So growing up, adult now, married, running my own home, I wouldn't say that I was very keen on church. But I always thought to myself, okay, you grew up in church, so you just can't stop going to church. So I decided to look for a church. I remember my mother-in-law then said that you can't just live your lives without believing in anything. You need to believe in something. It's either you believe in church or you believe in African traditional stuff, because we're just living our lives. Young people, just live your lives. And at the same time, also, when you're young and you didn't grow up being spiritually inclined as such, you don't see the reason to dig deep. So I never had a reason to dig deep into spirituality. So when I grew up, I went to church as an adult. It was okay. I wouldn't say there was anything special about it. And then I think I changed the church because it was still the Orthodox churches. And then there came in the new churches. I don't know what they're called. I'm sorry. You guys forgive me. I'm not very religious. But the churches where it's like, there's a band on stage and it's fire, fire, the deliverance churches, when they were hip and happening. So a friend of mine used to speak about her church. And then I said to her, what, one Sunday you must just give me directions. I'll come through and visit. And she was like, no, let's meet up at the mall and then we'll drive together, which is what I did. And then I was like, okay, this is something different. And then I started going to their church, dragged my children then my husband to the church. And yeah, we enjoyed it. But there was one thing that I always noticed. I enjoyed the praise and worship, I think, because of the adrenaline, the drums, the guitar, everybody's singing loud and everything. But I always noticed that I was different. People would be crying, they'll be raising their hands up high, and they'll be in spirit. Some would pray in tongues, and I still couldn't connect. And I always wondered, is there something wrong with me? People would be crying and calling out Jesus and all those things. And I even got baptized. I even attended Bible class lessons, thinking that, okay, you know what, Norma, you have to find this piece of the puzzle that is missing. So basically, that's just me, just relating how much I tried to fit in. For lack of a better word, into religion. And we went to the church for quite some time, and still I just felt the disconnect. There was no like clear vision for me, or that wanting or that connection or that, I don't know. So that was also another story. And then eventually we decided to do church at home. Basically just wake up on a Sunday morning and pray as a family. My husband, myself, and our kids would sing and pray and read the word of God. And yeah, that seemed to work. And this was now also, I think it was 4 years before COVID, around 2016. That's when we started to do our own church, our home church. So that has been my story when it comes to the religious side of spirituality. But still, I just felt like something is missing, something's not right. And what made things even worse, like for me to feel like there's something missing, was that my life started changing. I was all my life, let me say from when I first started working, because I actually started working very young. Okay, I would say my first job, I was 8 years old. It is Spaza Shop. A Spaza Shop is a tuck shop. Sorry, guys, if you hear animals in the background, I live in a farm. So you would hear ducks, chickens, dogs, etc. So yeah, with my first job, I was 8 years old. I worked at a spaza shop, tuck shop. I was packing for them. The gip people would know from Soweto. I'm a gip babang barki machakatata. Those colorful popcorn, sweet stuff. I used to pack that. I was obsessed with those things. I was addicted to that thing. So my job was to pack those the into plastic bags, and I used to get paid every time I did it. I did it at least twice a week, and I would get paid. And my salary or my payment or my wages was a can of Fanta Orange, a TV bar, the white one I remember very well, and a packet of knickknacks. That was always my salary, and I loved it. I enjoyed it